Mr. Caleb Williams.
Mr. Caleb Williams.
Mr. Caleb Williams. So, getting to the idea of where we land when it comes to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So, here we go. Justin Fields is firmly in Pittsburgh. He's pseudo-competing with Russell Wilson for the starting job over there.
Yeah.
Which paves the way for the Bears with the number 1 overall pick to draft Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Who is regarded by many, as the best quarterback prospect in quite a long time.
Yes.
So there's one problem, however. And typically with good players coming out of draft, they typically go to bad teams.
Yep.
And when you classify bad, the Bears have been holistically bad in the last 30 years in selecting a franchise quarterback. So that begs the question, will the Bears finally break history and do right by Caleb, or will they squander the first 4 to 5 years of him as an NFL quarterback? Coach Kirk, let me hear it.
If you'd asked me this 3 weeks ago, I would have said, hell yeah, they're going to squander him.
Okay.
With what they've done recently, I totally agree with what we've been hearing, what has been said. You listen to all the sports analyst shows. This is probably the best situation that a first pick quarterback could walk into, which would normally be you getting picked first because the team has nothing.
Awful. Cupboard's bare.
Awful.
Mm-hmm.
You open up the cupboard. Even the baking soda is looking for baking soda. It's so bare. Yeah. Your cupboard is so empty. There's roaches handing you their EBT card.
Oh, wow.
To go get food. That's how bare it is. That's how bare it normally would be. But the Bears, have went out, brought in a running back, brought in, to me, when you talk about route running, I put him in the top 5 in Keenan Allen.
I say top 2, he's not 2, but go ahead
though. Top 2, but he's not 2. I like that. That's good. I'm about to write that down. Use that again.
Yes. That's Aubrey Graham. That's not me, but that's a low bar from Aubrey.
Yeah. And then also when you look at DJ Moore as being the other receiver and the tight end Cole Kmet, who has been, he has been sneakily good over these last couple of years.
That he has.
That is a damn very, very. That's a damn good offense to walk into at a position where normally it's just you and you. Because everything else, the reason why they lost and losing, because they don't have anything.
Well, that's the same thing Justin Fields had going on for him, but go ahead, though.
Yeah. So I say they're working to do right by Caleb. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they're working towards doing right by him right now, because they have went out and made trades, brought in people, and looked to improve. So, yeah, I'm saying they're working to make it right.
Okay. All right. Were you ready for this?
Oh, I listen. I want it to be Martin and you be Will on Bad Boys right now.
Okay. All right. Trailer's out now, by the way. Bad Boys, the Ride or Die. The trailer's out now.
Yeah, that's why I plugged it. I plugged it a little bit. Yeah.
But personally, for me, I don't like the idea of him going to.
I know.
Based on their history, if nothing else.
Yeah.
They've never selected the right guy for the most part. And just to put some context clues to what we're saying, this is the entirety of the list of them of the last 30 years of them drafting quarterbacks and them being their franchise guy.
Yeah, look at that.
And how ironic Jim Harbaugh is the top of this list, right? He was a quarterback there for like 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Walsh, Eric Kramer, David Craig, Shane Matthews,
Cade McNown,
right? Jim Miller, who is that?
Who? I don't know
exactly. Cordell Stewart was there. I didn't realize Cordell Stewart was there at all. I didn't even know that. Kyle Orton, Rex Grossman,
Craig Kinzel.
Who's that? Right. Rex Grossman was the 4th string quarterback on that team that year. Ended up being a starter for 2 years.
Yeah, I remember Kyle Orton.
Yeah, Kyle Orton took this job in 2008, and then Jay Cutler comes in for what was that 6 years, 09 to 15.
Yeah.
Then Matt Barkley takes his job, and then they draft Mitchell Trubisky, and that was a disaster.
And that's
4 years.
where the tides turned.
Right. Then you draft Justin Fields after that. You move up in the draft to get Justin Fields in 2021, and that was a disaster.
Yep.
So that tells me right there that just based upon your history, that you have a real blind spot when it comes down to the idea of you drafting the franchise guy and doing right by him. So that gives me pause, especially how I feel about Caleb, homegrown kid. We've been in and around this kid since he was a little guy. He was a little, pee-wee football person. So we know exactly, what type of guy and what type of person he is. But I don't like the idea of him going to the Bears. I just don't. Like I said, we've gone back to the 80s now, and probably the last quarterback of any noteworthiness was Jim McMahon, and he wasn't even the main guy. There was the talks of the generational defense that he had more so than he talked about the quarterback. So again, that's another problem. Problem.
It's disgusting when you look at it, though.
It's bad. It's bad. Again, and the problem is the Bears have been living in the idea of playing hard-nosed shutdown defense and steady offense, and we can win. And they've been doing that since the 80s. And quite frankly, it hasn't worked much in the past 30 years.
Yeah.
And my issue has not changed with the times. The game is different. And you see how much of a mess it was with Justin Fields. He's out there running for his life for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
And had a bunch of jackleg players with no weapons out there until this past season.
Yes.
So again, it was just a rough go in all honesty. And on top of the fact that I don't like the coach.
I don't like his face.
I thought they should have fired him this year. Knowing that you had when you secured the first overall pick by the Carolina Panthers giving it to you, you should have fired him then and got yourself offensive coach. That's what I think they should have did. You should have fired him then, knowing Caleb was going to come to you and reset everything. That's what they should have did. Again, this is more than ever an offensive league, and the old philosophy is dead. And I don't think we're never going to get back there. And I fear we're never going to get back there. So my thoughts in the first 2 years of Caleb's career, it's going to be rocky. But he fleshed out the idea that Eberflus is not the guy. Get rid of him. Get a better head coach in there. That's an offensive-minded guy and a better play caller, and I hope they can protect him long enough for him to get there. But I think that these first 2 years are going to be rocky because I love the GM. I love Ryan Poles. I love all the moves he's made, but the coach is not the right guy. He's not the right guy. And Shane Waldron, I give him a Scotia credit for being a better play caller than who they had. I'm sorry that Eberflus is being at the top. I know from a personal experience, when your head coach, the defensive-minded head coach is there and he is running the show, he's always going to be in your way.
Yeah.
He's always going to be in your way. And he has the ability and authority to overrule you whenever he feels like it. Yeah. And that's going to be ultimate detriment to them. And it's going to take them, they're going to give them a year just because they drafted Caleb. They're going to give him at least 1 year.
Yeah.
If it's really ugly and probably the halfway mark of season 2, he's out of there. And they're going to find themselves another guy. But again, who's that guy going to be? We got to wait 2 years to find out.
Yep.
So we'll see how things go. But I don't like it. I really don't like it at all. Again, but that's the byproduct of what the league is. You are really good. You get drafted by shitty teams and figure it out. Only people like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes here lately and Justin Herbert, have been drafted to teams that are semi-functional at least that are in horrific situations, where they can, kind of, be able to, showcase their talent. But this here is a mess. Look at this list.
That's disgusting, man. When you look at that,
it's bad. It's bad. Yeah. I can't get behind it. I can't. I got a good friend as a Bears fan. I don't know how he dealt with it all these years. He's been a Bears fan since we've been living, and I'm like, dude, how do you deal? Because not having a listen, I might be having embarrassment of riches because I've always had a franchise quarterback as long as I've been a Chargers fan.
Yeah.
So we can do quarterback right. We might not do much else right in certain spaces, but we damn sure get the quarterback right.
Right.
Herbert, Breeze, Rivers, Fouts, Humphreys. I got a nice little list there. A nice little runway. But not having a franchise quarterback between them and the Browns and that long history of having bad quarterbacks, that's a rough ask to be a fan. Rough ask. So we'll see how things shake out. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I don't think I am.
No, I don't think you are either.
I don't think I am. So we'll see. We'll see.